Oh, look at this beautiful anchorage. We are so blessed to be here. Declan's been throwing around the GoPro. He can't wait to get out the door. We're going looking for lobster, crayfish.
Crayfish.
Yeah, and we won't come back empty-handed, I guarantee you. Apparently they're everywhere here. Can't wait to get in. The Abrolhos Islands have been a favourite of ours since visiting the northern and eastern groups last year. We're now back to tick the southern Pelsart group off our list to get the full set. It's not hard to see how these islands have been the cause of many shipwrecks over the centuries, the Batavia being the most famous. From the 15th century, spice trading ships making their way to Indonesia would occasionally find themselves too far east, only to come a cropper on the beautiful but treacherous reef surrounding these low-lying atolls. Although there's plenty more history to discover here, we're on a tight schedule, so we're focusing on improving our hunter and gatherer skills, fighting the current, and with a bit of teamwork from our friend Kyle, one half of the Wholesome Sailors, and his friend Guy, we're hoping to be bringing home some crayfish. Our most successful trip yet.
So look at that.
Look
That's
at
one
that.
that Dad got.
That's one that Dad
Big
got.
one. This one here is one that Kyle got that
Kyle?
he gave to us very generously.
Felt sorry for us, but he needn't have felt sorry because look at that PC.
Look at that. Show its back. Right there.
Yeah.
It's like
Who
massive.
caught that big one, Rob?
I caught this one.
No, Did you get into the boat?
I wedged it out of the rocks, like it was in this rocks, and I got the back of it, and I pulled and pulled and pulled. Then Declan had a go. We both had a go at it a couple of times, and then I stuffed this because he was just holding on with his big, strong legs. Look at these legs! Like, look at that for a leg. It's incredible. Anyway, that fell off in the boat.
Cut to the chase.
Anyway, so I went down the last time. I went, right, I'm going with two hands. I got both hands on the back of him, back here, and I was like.
And then what?
And then I let him free because he had been such a fighter.
No, you let go of him.
He then got yeah.
And who got him then?
I don't know, I think he jumped in the boat.
No, I got him. So that's my catch.
It was
there.
well done. Yeah, so it's a team effort, this one.
It was.
Man, what a
was.
incredible.
That's the biggest one we've ever caught.
Quite interesting sometimes what you find inside fish or whatever it is, find out what they've eaten. And I've asked lots of people, what do crayfish eat? And the common answer is they're just scavengers. They scavenge for anything. Well, we've just pulled out the rear end of one of the crayfish, and we've come up with what can only be described as, well, in New Zealand you call them kinna, but I guess the rest of the world call them sea urchins. The spiky sea urchins, you know, you don't want to get spiked by them. And inside this particular crayfish it's this full of little bits of the sea urchins spikes. Very spiky, and I guess there's some nutrition inside those spiky spines. Somehow it's killed the kinna, or maybe nipped off the ends of the I don't know, but
just a snack.
Yeah, it's a very crunchy snack. But inside there, well, inside the spine there must be nutrition, because going out the rear end looks like just spine only. It's quite interesting.
Thankfully, Rob wasn't doing the cooking, or we may have been sampling crayfish entrails. Instead, I pan-fried the lobster in garlic butter. That's the big one. The one that...
The one I caught.
It was a joint effort. Joint effort.
So he's off. Hugh Hefner's going to the galley.
That was our most successful mission
First
ever.
crayfish.
Robert's first crayfish.
Now let's just reiterate this. Do you think it's more important to actually have wedged it and fought and got your legs on the rocks and like wrestled this thing from out of the coral hole? Sure, I let it go after that. Or is it for the person who's perhaps wandering along and pick it up off the coral?
If I hadn't been there, it would have gone forever.
It would have been gone.
If I
Team
was
effort.
just strategically placed.
The ultimate team, Rachel.
Yep. I was strategically placed and managed to. Yeah, we should go. Cheers. Ching. Cheers. Cheers. And Declan, We didn't manage to catch one, but
Nope.
you were certainly
You had a good go.
a member of the team. Your time will come.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Actually, the coriander cilantro works.
An interesting thing, you know, they've got this beautiful tail, but you have to cut this bit off if you're keeping it for yourself. Otherwise, we had a little trip from fisheries before we went out, and they told us if we didn't do this, we'd get a fine. We'd get a fine because then we could be selling them to restaurants. Crazy. And you have to do it in the first 5 minutes of catching it. Like, where
We're
are you
busy
going to
catching
go
another
with
one.
it in the first 5 minutes? It's not like we had a boat waiting and we would have thrown them at them. Maybe that's what happens, I don't know.
You get what you deserve. I'm your nightmare while you're fast asleep. Wrong, it's never felt so right, and revenge has never felt so sweet. I will be your worst and darkest dream. I'm gonna do bad things, do it like it's nothing. Being bad has never felt so good. I'm gonna do bad things, you won't see it coming. Watch your step, I've been thinking of doing a bad thing.
Another day, another dollar. We're off crayfishing. One more time. We've eaten everything so far that we've caught, so we're gonna go and get some more.
I'm gonna do bad things, you won't see it coming. Watch your step, I've been thinking of doing bad things to you.
You've been busy, Rob. You've been very busy.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Bald-chin groper. Big, beautiful fish, beautiful eating fish. A bit slimy to fillet, but this was the last catch of the day. And I saw these bald-chin groper turning up every now and then, hoping to get a spare leg or something, when they were a feeler here or a leg there, and sure enough the odd one did come flying. And so I went back and got the spear gun, thinking, well, maybe we'll get a chance to, and I had a go at a couple. In fact, I fired off 2 shots, missed both times. Actually, the first one did hit, but it didn't, it just took off too far away. Anyway, I got a cray after fighting for a crayfish for quite some time, and I eventually got him out, and it was time to go home, and you guys were all back at the tender. So I had this cray and I grabbed the spear gun, and then there's another bald-chin, just kind of, so that, okay, with my left hand, I managed to hit it. I had the crayfish in one hand, and now this thing's going nuts all over the place, and I'm trying to wrestle it back, and we got it back.
Happy days. Happy
days.
days. Oh, there we go. Declan. Crayfishing. How much do you like that?
That was my first time catching a crayfish, and I caught 3. Caught the 2 biggest.
Yeah, I knew you'd love it once you caught one. I thought you seemed a little bit disappointed yesterday, so yeah.
I'm fine whether I catch them or don't catch them, but yeah. No,
Well,
it was
actually,
good.
once
It was
you-
good to finally catch some.
Yeah, and once you've caught one, you kind of realise, actually, this isn't so scary at all.
No.
They're not going to bite me.
Yeah,
They're not,
no.
They can't really hurt me too badly. It's a bit like playing chess, actually, because you have to sometimes very strategically
Yeah.
manoeuvre yourself around.
This is the biggest one that I caught. This is the 3rd one that I caught. Yeah, it's big. And it's all intact actually, because usually, like all these other ones are, apart from that one, they're missing feelers or legs. But this one's got all its legs and both its feelers. And the big boy.
TripAdvisor, Declan, out of 10, what would you give that? Bearing in mind you caught it.
Probably like a 7.
7. I thought you might go for 11. Often described as the Galapagos Islands of the Indian Ocean, there is an abundance of marine life to admire here. From sleepy sea lions basking on the beach to shovel ray and tiger sharks doing their rounds of the anchorage. However, the highlight for us was an interaction with a beautiful sea lion. Nicknamed the Puppies of the Sea, it's not hard to see why. This female was so playful, we never wanted it to end.
This is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful.
I wish I brought weight.
Yeah, so stay down longer. Honestly, she has the most beautiful nature.
Oh,
She's so
wonderful.
just lovely. Reminds me of a Labrador. She came up to me and just nuzzled the camera. I felt her quite strawy like whiskers. Oh man, that was amazing. I thought she might have a nibble. I was waiting for her to have a little, kind of, but she didn't. She just had a bit of a sniff and a feel. Oh, then sometimes she looked quite sad sitting on the bottom of this. She should just drop down and then sit there and look a little bit sad, but then a little bit playful as well. Oh, wonderful. Then her interaction with Declan was amazing. She really seemed to us watching that Declan had a little connection with her there for a bit. It was, I don't know. Now Rachel's getting a bit of a connection with her.
Far out, that seal is just so playful. I'd go down and lie next to it and like blow out some bubbles, and she blew a bubble. And yeah, it's really, they are just dogs of the sea. They're so playful. Bye bye, seal.
And just like that, we're off. Our 3 days at the Abrolhos are up, and they were 3 amazing days. Crayfish galore, but the icing on the cake was swimming with that little sea lion. She was gorgeous.
First seal?
Times like that you wish the animals could talk, because she just seemed, we were having a great time, she seemed to be having a great time, she didn't want to leave our side. Crazy. Yep, anyway, more adventures to be had. We're off back to Geraldton and picking up Ivan and then heading north. Watch this space.
If you enjoyed this episode, please comment, give us a thumbs up, and best of all, share it. It helps us heaps.